Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Inside Guns with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. You know, I've been getting a lot of people coming at me lately saying, why are you ignoring the Jayland Walker case? Why are you not paying any attention to it? Is it because he was a black guy? Well, I don't think anybody who knows me would believe that. I mean, I was a big supporter of Philando Castile and covered that extensively when it happened, as I have other cases where black people were shot by police. I'm not a big supporter of the police, period. The reason I actually haven't talked about this yet, though, is because, one, it's kind of been overshadowed by other things. You know, there have been a lot of other things happening. Supreme Court decisions, the parade killings, just lots of different things. The school massacre, just lots of different stuff been happening. So haven't really gotten around to this, can't discuss everything. We have discussed it in live chats. If you really want to know what I think about a lot of things, just come to live chats. We have a lot more time there to talk and get to answer a lot more questions. Another reason I haven't covered this is because I really didn't see a whole lot to talk about. For those of you who are not familiar, Jayland Walker, I do believe his last name is that right? Yes, Jayland Walker got shot by police after a high-speed chase where he shot at police and then jumped out of the car wearing a ski mask, and then he was gunned down by police. Now, a lot of people are angry because they say when he got out of the car, he left his gun in the car. So he wasn't armed when they shot him while he was fleeing. Other people are really upset right now, the media at least, is making a big deal out of the fact that when his body arrived at the morgue, it was handcuffed. Now, I know a lot of people can't reconcile that in their brain of why that would be something that would happen. But let's talk about these things, and let's help reconcile these things. First off, to the people that were upset that he got shot after he left the gun in the car, kind of doesn't matter. Here's the thing. He was driving at a high rate of speed, trying to elude police, wearing a ski mask, and then shot at police as they were pursuing him. There's video evidence that he actually shot at police. That endangered not only the police, but everybody around. And then when he had to flee from the car, apparently he left the gun in the car, but he took off. Cops did not know he was not armed. There's no way they could have known he left the gun in the car. All they know now is he's an armed person in a ski mask who was willing to shoot willy-nilly at police, endangering bystanders. So at this point, they have to say, hey, if this guy gets away, he might kill somebody. He might take hostages, etc. So in the video I've seen, they chase him, he stops and turns to police. Don't do that. That's a bad thing to do, especially if you're armed. So what I saw in this event was him doing bad things and then doing stupid things. Fleeing, shooting at police, turning suddenly while being chased. All those things, to me, make it look like police were totally justified. Because unlike us as civilians, and police are civilians too, but as non-law enforcement civilians, when we are using our firearms for defense, our main priority is to stop an event that is happening now. Something that is endangering our life or safety or the life or safety of someone else. Not to preemptively stop bad things that might happen in the future. Police have a little bit different mandate. They have to consider, hey, this guy's armed. He's willing to shoot at police. He's willing to endanger citizens. That means if we let him get away, he's a danger to society. We have to stop him. They have to think about what might happen in the future. So when you couple that with him running and then turning suddenly, yeah, I believe that they probably fired before he turned. But still, just the running away after shooting at police means the police get the benefit of the doubt here. Sorry. You shoot at police, you sacrifice a lot of your rights to being assumed innocent. Let's just say that. So didn't see any real big issue with all that. It was tragic, of course, when any young person goes down the wrong path, loses their life to police. But here's the reality. People think, oh, cops are just out there willy-nilly shooting black people. No, they shoot black, white, Hispanic at the pretty much same rate they shoot any other race. They all shoot them all at about the same rate. When you compare it to the rate of offending, that means if 10 people get shot by police for committing crimes, and 6 of them are black, 3 of them are white, and 1 of them's Hispanic, well, that means they're not shooting more blacks proportionally if blacks committed 60% of the crime. It's the same proportion. If whites only committed 30% of the crime, the same proportion, 10%. So you got to take that into account. So it isn't that cops are just shooting black people willy-nilly. It's that the black people are running afoul of the cops more because of their circumstances. In poor white areas, same thing happens. Just there's not as many of them. So cops are just loose on the trigger or quick on the trigger regardless of your skin color. I don't believe cops see color all that much. I think they see us and them. All of us are not them. They see themselves as one unit and all the rest of us as another. That's a side note there. But so I didn't really see much. Now a lot of people, like I said, are really upset that this new news came out that he was handcuffed. The body was handcuffed at the morgue. And they're like, this is an outrage. There's no reason for this. This, like I said, they can't reconcile this. Well, this actually makes sense. And it's pretty much standard procedure. Here's the thing. This guy was an armed and dangerous suspect, willing to obviously harm other people, shown by his actions that are on video. When the cops get up to him, even if he's been shot, they have to assume he's still alive. And that means cuffing his hands so that they don't, he doesn't play dead and they roll him over and he blah, 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 shoots. So that was for their own safety, that when they get him to the ground, when they get on him, they have to pretend or they have to assume he's still alive. They have to act like that's likely the case. Handcuff him. And then they check vitals. If he is not showing that he's alive at that point, they call in medical personnel. And you might say, well, why aren't they unhandcuffing him? Well, because cops are not doctors or paramedics. They might not know. He might just be holding his breath. They don't know. He might be playing possum. So they don't surrender him, the suspect, to emergency personnel when there's a chance he might be faking it and he might take an emergency personnel hostage or physically harm one. So you leave them handcuffed. Believe me, the paramedics, etc., they know what they need to do, and if there's anything they need the body unhandcuffed for, they'll do it. And if there's something that they say, okay, we need to take action here because we can save his life, we need him unhandcuffed, they'll do that. If they go up and they're like, yeah, he's been shot through the heart, through the lungs, he's dead, DOA, there's no reviving him. Although they will usually try. If there's no reviving him, there's really no need to take off the handcuffs. That would just be time wasted. If seconds matter for his survival, taking off those handcuffs, that's just going to cause more time wasted. So the fact that his body showed up at the morgue with handcuffs on, that's not crazy. That's just something the media is blowing out of proportion. I'm sorry, and I know his aunt or whatever was on TV going, I can't accept this. He's not that kind of kid. He had a gun in a high pursuit chase with police where he shot at police while wearing a ski mask. Seems like you didn't know your nephew as well as you thought you did. That's common. You always see the family like, he was a good kid and never did anything wrong. And he's like a gangbanger with a rap sheet 2 miles long. And I'm not saying that's true of this guy. I'm just saying that happens quite often. So, like I said, the reason I haven't covered it is because I do call police out when they're wrong. But that doesn't mean police are always wrong. Police do a lot of bad things, and there's a lot of reasons why we should be revamping how policing is done in this country. And, creating law enforcement, rebuilding it to a way where it actually serves the people again. But that doesn't mean they're always wrong. Probably, I would say 90% of the time, at least, they're going to be correct in how they handle situations. Even if things go bad. This was a situation of a bad situation that got worse. And I don't see anywhere along the lines where police did anything egregious. Now, sure, if they had known he left his gun in his car when he took off running, could they have acted differently? I guess they could have. But that's information they couldn't possibly have had at that moment. Could they have just not confronted him or not engaged in a high-speed chase and picked him up later? They could have, but then they'd have to worry about what he did in that time period. Desperate people do horrible things. So this was kind of the police just doing their jobs, and things went bad. Not bad as in they did things wrong, just bad as in the circumstances were of such that it ended up with someone losing their life. But like I said, I don't think the police are at fault here. That's why I haven't spent a lot of time on this with other things that are going on. So it isn't anything to do with racism. It's just, like I said, sometimes bad things just happen and the police are not at fault. All right, everybody, that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed the show. I do appreciate you coming, and I hope you come back again tomorrow. Until then, I want to remind everyone out there to always carry and stay safe until I see you again.